Hey movie fans, we're back for another 5 good things. And if you haven't noticed by the theme yet, for October we're going to go with more horror theme, just to get in the spirit of Halloween. And there's a lot of movies to pick from that are just atrociously bad in the genre that is horror. So what are we looking at today? The Wonderful World of Jason X.
What a wonderful world it is.
Yeah, to say the least. The basic premise of Jason X is the Friday the 13th franchise goes to space in the year 2534. Let that marinate for a second, because the Oscar contention that it's going to be in this year with a great idea and plot like that. But believe it or not, there are 5 worthwhile things to talk about. There we go. In Jason X. At number 5, the beginning of the list, we'll start with the ending.
I was really surprised by this ending. And, okay, maybe not surprised in the sense of, I didn't see that coming, but more of a, wow, that was a really good homage. Like, they, falls to the sky, and they got a couple who are obviously up to some shenanigans, and they're like, wow, let's wish on a star. It landed in a lake. You want to go check it out?
Yeah, so basically, everything, they go, to space, and it's like a slasher in space. But so at the very end, Jason and more or less the hero of the story crashed to Earth, more or less restarting the whole franchise over again, as Jason is now by a lake, by some campers who are up to some activities, and it just basically starts the cycle all over again, and more or less has at least some semblance to the Friday the 13th franchise, because the rest of the movie did not. But the ending was over the top and ridiculous, but it still had a fun vibe to it with the other guy.
Yeah.
Just kind of yippee-ki-yaying the end of it, just holding on to Jason, going, if we're going down together, buddy.
And I love the climax in general. I think is my favorite part of the movie, especially when they take it advantage of the hologram technology to distract him, and they put the 2 campers up there and hi, we're underage, and they go through all of the themes of the original.
The typical tropes of the original movies of just drugs, sex, whatever else is associated with Friday the 13th. But we'll get into that later.
Yes.
But yeah, the movie's very self-aware, and we'll get to that.
It's so great.
At number 4. We go over some more concrete ideas, not just the ending. And as to the characters, there were some that were actually worthwhile watching and were pretty entertaining. 2 in particular.
I loved, the first character that you really kind of get anything happening with in the movie's the stoner, and he's literally my favorite character.
We don't know if he is on drugs. For the people that have seen Cabin in the Woods, he's kind of that character. He's the lovable, but he's very 1960s character, and he's more or less the first character that the audience gets perspective of.
I would agree.
There's always that character that the audience is supposed to be new to the world, and you see the world through their eyes, and thus we get the exposition. He's that character, and obviously he gets axed off, which he literally gets axed off quicker than anybody else, which is an accidental axing. But that actually gets repaired in weird logic. It's space logic of, yes,
nanobots!
Yeah, you can get your arm chopped off, but we're in the future now. You can get that replaced.
Oh, but be careful. Don't move, or your elbow will be where your wrist should be.
Yes, yeah. Don't move. Or else you're going to have a Brundlefly effect of, let's hope there's not a fly in the recuperation chamber with you.
Don't worry. Just our nanobots are smart, but they're not that smart.
He was really, really funny and quite a quirky character.
Don't touch anything, and he's got the mug stuck to his hand. He's like,
Yep. He seemed like a normal human being. He seemed quirky and quite hysterical. The other one, very different, but every horror movie more or less needs it, and that's that gung-ho, I'm gonna save the day action star. Now this guy is actually the only actor in this movie that I recognize, and it's Death from the Final Destination movies.
Oh!
That's where you've seen that.
The whole time we're like, he looks like this guy, he looks like... No.
It's Death from
oh
Final...
my god,
yep.
that's so good.
He more or less is just they take an Aliens approach, and a whole bunch of Marines are trying to take out Jason, and he's the one that... You see him get axed off in the beginning, and he makes a triumphant return later. Spoiler alert, if you care. And he more or less is just I'm going to save the day, and he makes the heroic sacrifice to stay behind to make sure Jason doesn't, attack the survivors while in a bring in the dancing lobsters pink. Astronaut spacesuit. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
It's so weird looking, but it's beautiful and cool. And
he's an over-the-top character.
Yeah, exactly. But that spacesuit in particular, I want to talk about just for a second, because it is, you're right, like over-the-top pink, but at the same time, it's like really cool looking, and you're like, I could wear that to a Comic-Con.
The 2001 A Space Odyssey suit, except pink and more cellular.
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 You heard it here. We make up words.
Cellular is a word now. But I think it's more or less to contrast with Jason's silver and black to make it stand out more obvious. And real men wear pink, I guess, in this universe or in any universe. Man could pull off pink quite well as he's hurling with Jason towards the Earth and more or less goes up in a blaze of glory.
Literally.
Yep. I did that on purpose. And what this movie also does very well for our number 3 is that it's totally, completely, and utterly self-aware that it is a Friday the 13th movie.
Oh my god.
There's so many horror tropes, we'll go with that they play on all the time, but for comedic and effective use. Like, it felt natural in this, like, the filmmakers knew it was going to be hokey, and they went with it. They worked with it well, I thought.
It's, it reminded me of have you seen the Southpaw movie with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
Okay, so it's a fighter movie, and it knows what it is, and so it doesn't try to do something that it's not.
Yeah.
And that's what Jason X does.
I
mean, it's still an awful movie because the slasher film in general is not a fun movie to watch. But it does it well, and it doesn't try to be something else. And
no, it knows what it is. It's Jason in space, and it doesn't turn into... Just saying that makes me just...
At no point...
You guys picked some great movies for October.
At no point do you sit there and go, you know what? I really wish Jason wasn't in space. Because you're like, I am enjoying the crap out of this.
This movie... It's by far probably the worst Friday the 13th movie, but it's a guilty pleasure movie for a lot of people. And it's primarily because of that self-awareness of... Well, we know what we are. It's like Sharknado. It knows what it is, and it's not trying to be better, so it's just like, we're going to make it fun for you guys. Sharknado 2, not Sharknado 1.
Oh, come on.
Sharknado 1 was trying to be serious. Sharknado 2 was just
That's fair.
Celebrities, come on in!
Well, and it's also self-aware in the fact that many times throughout the movie, they make jokes about doing things just for the money. And they're like, yes, well, just make this a bit, just so because we can have some money to deal with.
The only thing missing from those scenes were the characters looking directly at the camera and going, are we right? Which I wouldn't be surprised if they thought about that at some point or another, but yeah, this movie's not great, but there's some good qualities.
It's enjoyable, to say the least.
Well, number 2, I think, you take it with a grain of salt because it is a Friday the 13th movie. None of the characters die. There's a lot of character deaths because you don't really care about any of them because it's a slasher movie. None of the deaths happen the same way twice. They're all different, and they're all kind of unique, and they add to the humor, I think.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
You're like, they're so over-the-top ridiculous. Like, we both agreed the first one...
is the...
You don't buy it at all, but you're just like, this is bizarre. Of a girl, the scientist, let's more or less say, we'll just say Jason has her go on a date with some dry ice.
Yeah. And then when he realizes the relationship's not going to work out, he acquaints her with his friend, the countertop.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a short date, but it was unique, and we didn't really know that relationship was going to last for very long.
No, and it came crumbling down.
Yes. Like her face.
Now here's the thing. Now when we first saw that kill, both of us were like, that was awesome.
I actually had seen it before on Mythbusters, so thank you for that, Mythbusters.
But here's the thing. I don't think that one's my favorite.
Really?
I like the one where this has to do with our number 1, where he tosses the guy onto the drilling bit. And he starts twirling down, and you can just... oh my gosh. And you can see Jason just staring at him and go...
The writers of this movie basically spent more time trying to think of how to kill off these characters, more so than the actual plot or the dialogue, more than anything else. I guess that's a good thing, because it is a slasher movie. Well, they're not my favorite, or Josh's favorite, I'm sure, there is still a niche audience that goes to see these movies, and they go for the kills to be creative and clever and something out of the ordinary. And by far, this movie excelled in that. Instead of in the past, Jason just going, "Hey, I'm Machete Man." No, I think there was one machete death, but the rest of them got really creative.
I think it's the stalker, the stoner gets like chopped, like literally at that point.
Does he? No, he got the Bane death. The stoner got his back broken.
You're right.
He got Bane.
The Bane death. I love that
Bane.
we've entitled it that.
The Bane.
The back to the knee. Even though we have other people that have done it, probably not as like Undertaker and Kane and
now
WWE references.
Well, a lot of WWE references are on the show. In fact, this poster behind me is in fact a WWE poster. If you have observant eyes,
yes.
Comment below if you know who it is. I'm sure some of you do. And these kills, they're one of the best things about this movie because they're just over the top and fun like the rest of this movie. It's so stupid fun.
And
that's
the best part is a lot of them go into our number one, which is the jokes in this movie.
And what the thing is about the humor in this movie, the thing about the humor in this movie is that it's not like The Happening or The Wicker Man where you're laughing when you're not supposed to. This actually has some lines of humor that you are supposed to laugh at and is in fact funny. Like we mentioned, the guy who fell
on the drill bit.
Yeah, on a drill bit.
And
they find him later, and they're like, "Well, he's screwed." And we just look at each other and go, "Arnold Schwarzenegger is back from the '90s to write this movie." Like that's what I thought was just.
Oh, and then when the captain gets stabbed through the stomach and he's like up on the wall and he's like, "It's gonna take more than one blade to kill me," and
another one comes through his stomach and then he's just
"Yep, that'll do it."
Like you are supposed to laugh at some of these, not like an unintentional laughter. Yes, there's some moments where you're just like, I'm laughing because this is so bad. Like anytime they use special effects, we laugh because.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Okay, we'll put it this way: the special effects in Jason X make the prequels look good.
The prequels of what, Nathan?
You know the rest, Josh. Don't make me go there.
I don't know if I know what prequels you're talking about.
Whatever prequels you want them to be.
Okay, fair enough.
There are some unintentional moments that are funny, but by and large, the moments that they want you to laugh, you'll probably laugh at. They are kind of funny. They're pretty good quips.
And maybe this is because I'm getting a little bit older and realized how like my dad my humor is. But like these jokes are literally dad jokes.
Oh, they're very
That's
much
why
dad jokes.
It's the kinds of jokes that you go, oh man, that was painful but funny.
Not as painful as the person dying.
Oh.
It is. If you want just a really dumb movie, this is by far one of the worst movies you can watch for Halloween because it's not scary. It's not even bears any resemblance to Friday the 13th, but it's stupid fun. There's a lot of jokes to be had in it because I think it's partially because the movie doesn't really try to take itself too seriously. And that's okay. That's a good thing. Well, have you guys seen Jason X? What did you guys think of it if you've seen it? Well, comment below. And always, comment below what other things you'd like to see for 5 good things. What are some movies that are so bad that you don't think there could be any positives to be found in them whatsoever? Like later this month, we'll probably be taking a look at Wicker Man for October, which... that's going to be a joy, and no...
I'm looking forward to that one.
No, we're not going to include It's So Bad It's Good as one of the good things. I know what you're thinking.
That is one of the things I think we both, when we were talking about this, that is the one thing that we cannot say.
Yes,
because
for any of these, we can't say It's So Bad It's Good. Yeah, it does kind of ruin...
because if it's so bad it's good, it is not, in fact, a bad movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Well... if you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at 17 Movie Reviews. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.